What if the battles you're fighting aren't just physical, but spiritual? And what if the weapon you need has been right in front of you all along, hidden in plain sight, inside the Bible? That's right, Psalm 77 isn't just another passage. It's a spiritual game changer. It speaks directly to those who feel under attack, drained, or surrounded by invisible opposition. But here's the twist. This psalm doesn't beg for mercy. It declares divine power. It doesn't whisper for help. It shakes the heavens. Whether you're facing envy, betrayal, emotional exhaustion, or that strange heaviness you can't explain, there's a reason you're here. And what you're about to discover could be the turning point you've been praying for. Some people think they just stumble across a video like this, but that's not how divine energy works. When the soul is ready, the message shows up like a gentle knock from heaven. It's not a coincidence. It's a calling. You see, divine purpose doesn't scream. It whispers. It nudges you through restlessness, signs, or even sudden interest in a verse from the Bible. That feeling you can't shake off? It might be your angels urging you to pray and pay attention. Think about the moments when everything seemed random, but later made perfect sense. That's spiritual alignment unfolding behind the scenes. And once someone starts to recognize that voice, the real transformation begins. Psalm 77 isn't just ancient poetry. It's a spiritual weapon. Spoken with faith, it cuts through fear, envy, and spiritual noise like a sword of light. That's why people feel lighter after praying it. It clears the unseen. It's the kind of pray that makes darkness back off. Picture someone overwhelmed by hidden enemies, betrayal at work, jealousy in the family. Instead of lashing out, they start reading Psalm 77 every morning. Days later, their spirits steadier, and strangely, the attacks seem to fade. That's the Bible in motion, not magic, truth. The words in this psalm are like spiritual detox. They strip away the invisible grime envy leaves behind. And just when someone thinks they're alone in the fight, that's when angels step in, fueled by the power of this prayer. It's in those quiet, desperate hours, when no one sees the tears, that prayer becomes a lifeline. Not the formal kind, but the raw, trembling pray that cracks open the heavens. Psalm 77 meets you there, right in the ache. That's when the Bible becomes real, not just read. Someone might sit in their car after a rough day, eyes burning, heart heavy, and instead of scrolling or venting, they whisper the words of Psalm 77. In that moment, it's not about memorizing, it's about surviving. Angels are near when we're at our lowest. What most people don't realize is that anguish doesn't push us away from God. It pushes us toward Him. Pain isn't the end, it's a doorway. That's spiritual tension. It's divine opportunity, and it prepares the heart for something deeper. Here's the truth most avoid. Unforgiveness is a cage, and we're the ones holding the key. Psalm 77 isn't just about enemies out there. It helps clean up the battlefield in here. When someone starts to pray it consistently, something softens. The anger loses its grip. Think of someone who's been betrayed deeply, maybe by family. Every time they hear that name, their chest tightens. But after meditating on Psalm 77 for a week, a strange peace starts to take root. That's not coincidence. That's the Bible, reshaping wounds into wisdom. Forgiveness isn't weakness, it's power in disguise. And angels respond to those who release their burdens. When you drop what's heavy, your hands are free to receive. But here's the catch. Before healing flows in, something else has to be removed. Not every smile is pure, and not every presence is peaceful. That's why spiritual protection isn't optional. It's essential. Psalm 77 acts like armor. When spoken with faith, it builds an invisible wall. It's the kind of pray that angels respond to instantly. Imagine someone walking into a room and instantly feeling drained. No explanation, just heaviness. That's not imagination. That's energy. Reciting Psalm 77 before leaving the house is like applying divine protection. It clears the path and sharpens discernment. The Bible isn't passive. It teaches spiritual strategy. When envy lurks, you don't fight fire with fire. You fight it with light. And Psalm 77, it's one of the brightest torches you can carry, especially when the shadows start getting bold. There's a kind of sadness that doesn't show up in tears. It just lingers, quietly pulling someone down. And when no one seems to notice, Psalm 77 becomes more than a prayer. It becomes a rescue line. It's the kind of pray that breathes when you can't. It whispers hope when everything else is silent. Take someone who's smiling in public, but battling in private. Common, right? They start reading this psalm before bed, maybe unsure at first, but day by day, that emotional fog starts to lift. That's how the Bible works. quietly, steadily, with divine precision. Angels don't always arrive with trumpets. Sometimes they come through words that hit just right. Psalm 77 brings that kind of comfort. It doesn't erase pain instantly, but it guides the soul toward light and prepares it for something bigger, something miraculous. Here's something people often miss. Miracles don't usually crash in with fireworks. They unfold quietly in lives steeped in consistent faith. Psalm 77 isn't a one-time fix. It's a lifestyle of prayer, of trusting the Bible even when results don't show up overnight. Angels notice faith in action, not just words. Think of someone praying with all their heart for breakthrough. At first, nothing seems to shift, but they keep going, morning after morning, whispering Psalm 77 into the silence. And then, opportunities, peace, clarity. Faith cracks open doors logic can't even find. Miracles follow patterns, and faith is the pattern that heaven recognizes. The more someone leans in, the more they're led. It's not about being perfect, it's about being persistent. And this persistence becomes a daily rhythm, one that slowly transforms everything. Daily prayer isn't a task, it's a rhythm, like breathing for the soul. Psalm 77, when spoken every day, starts reshaping the inner world. The more someone prays, the more grounded they become, and the Bible begins to feel alive. Angels walk closely with those who walk daily with faith. Picture it. A person who once felt scattered now starts their mornings with this psalm. Just 5 minutes, but consistent. Over time, their energy shifts, peace lingers longer, and protection feels tangible. That's spiritual transformation, not instant, but undeniably real. And when this becomes a habit, something powerful happens. The heart opens wider, fear shrinks, and divine purpose takes root. Each day becomes an opportunity to connect, grow, and live under divine covering. But here's the thing, the journey doesn't end there. So now the question is, what will you do with all this? Will Psalm 77 become just another video you watched, or the start of a new spiritual chapter? Because if everything you've heard stirred something in your heart, that's not random. That's a call, a divine nudge to rise, to pray, to walk with the angels, and to let the Bible become your guide, shield, and sword. What if your healing, your breakthrough, your miracle was just one prayer away? Are you ready to make faith your daily strategy instead of your last resort? Tell us in the comments. Which part of Psalm 77 spoke to your situation the most? We'd love to hear from you. And hey, if you want to keep walking this path of light, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. There's a lot more waiting for you. And trust me, we're just getting started.